welcome to another episode of Coffee Chat and Book Review. This is a series that I do on the channel from time to time, wherein I read a book of an up-and-coming author, and who has either just published one book, or he or she or they have published multiple, and I interview them. I read their book, I review it, and I interview them, and I let them discuss their process and why they wrote the book, and then we show where you can purchase it for yourself and all that information. So this is my friend Jim Falkenstein's book, and this is him on the back. And he has a YouTube channel that he started, ashlandtrails.com, but he realized that a lot of people read books more than they watch videos. Or some people would rather have a book. So he put together this book. I actually helped him with the first edition. I helped edit it, and I found it really fascinating. I actually have walked on a lot of these trails. The trails are in and around Ashland, Oregon, and also other places in Southern Oregon. And he goes into the history, some of the local folklore about these trails, how they got their name, best practices in walking on them, all those little things. And he also shares his experiences that you can actually hear about when he's on the actual trails himself in his videos. He has these things, so when you're reading, you can scan your phone and go to the actual video that you're reading about. And so I'm gonna let Jim talk more about why he wrote this book and the process and where you can purchase it. All those links will be in the end credits, but also in the section below. So without further ado, here's Jim. So welcome to Coffee Chat and Book Review. I am Leah Dougal, and I'm here with my friend Jim. Jim,
hello.
Tell me who you are and what do you do?
Well, my name is Jim. You got that already, Jim Falkenstein. And let's see, I have a website for trail hiking here in Ashland, ashlandtrails.com, and I have a book of ashlandtrails.com as well.
And that's what we're here for.
Right, I got a YouTube channel with a lot of videos of the trails. I've got trail videos. Did I invent the trail video? I think I did. Name somebody else who does trail videos, per se. I'm the first one, I believe. So I'm claiming that. And let's see, what else do I do? I'm a prop master on TV shows in Los Angeles. So I go back and forth from here, Southern Oregon, down to Los Angeles, work on sitcoms mostly. I'm about to go back to the George Lopez show.
Nice.
Yeah, George Lopez versus Lopez. It's actually him and his daughter.
Nice.
The two of them together. So it's fun. It's fun stuff to do. And what else do I do?
What did you just recently, well, I guess it wasn't recently finished, but you're most notably the TV show you worked on for however long? We were just talking about.
Oh, Fuller House?
Yeah.
Oh, Fuller House. I'm actually drinking from my Fuller House mug at the moment. Yes, I worked on Fuller House. I know you're a big fan of Full House, because a lot of people grew up watching Full House, so they're big fans. So then when Fuller House came out, all the same fans came to watch it, and let's just say whatever. It was a fine show. I was on that for a couple of years. It was perfectly nice. But everyone on the show was great, mostly. And I don't want to get into anything like that. But yeah. So you want me to tell you my Bob Saget story?
Sure.
Okay. I told her I had a Saget story. This is I think pretty great. So worked on this stage at 25 there at Warner Brothers for years, and my prop room was here, and the food table was here. So all the actors and cast and crew would all hang out here, and so I'd come out and talk to people basically right outside my room. So that's where I talked to Bob Saget every couple of days. He'd put up there, we'd bullshit a little bit. It was pretty great. Did that for years, and then a couple years pass after the show ends, and Bob Saget dies, of course, tragically, and then I get another job on the same stage, in the same room, for a different show, and one Sunday, when no one's there on Sunday, so I'm the prop master, I'm bringing some stuff in, and I'm loading my stuff into my room, and as I walk past that little area where I felt like this cold breeze, go through me, and the minute it came through me, I go, that's Bob Saget.
Oh.
And I had been thinking of Bob Saget for years. I didn't think about him, but right then I thought, that's Bob Saget. And so I thought, okay, maybe I'm being silly. Went on, did all my stuff. Come up here to Ashland, having coffee with a buddy and he's a spiritual guy, spiritualist. He's into energy and stuff. And he says, I've been looking for a house. It's so expensive. I saw one house It was great, but there's so much repair work, electrical, plumbing. I can't do repairs. He goes, I can get rid of ghosts, because I can talk to ghosts and get rid of them, but I can't do repairs. I'm like, wait a minute, you know about ghosts? And he goes, yeah, of course I do. I go, let me tell you this story. So I told him my Bob Saget story, and I go, so do you think that was Bob Saget ghost? And he goes like this. He goes, yes, it was.
Oh.
I'm like, oh shoot.
So you think he was just saying hi as you're like, remembering?
That was my follow-up question. That was exactly what I said. I said, so is he haunt the stage, for eternity or whatever? And he goes, no, he's just visiting the stage and he saw you and he wanted to say hi.
Aww.
And I'm like, God, that's awesome.
Yeah, nice.
So
awesome.
Bob Saget will say hi to me once in a while when I go to the stage, apparently. So that
he was a nice guy.
He was actually. He was actually a very nice guy. Weird, duh, of course.
So show off your book one more.
Oh yeah, there's a book. This thing's killing. You can, you're gonna want to pick that up for sure.
Especially if you live in Ashland or Southern Oregon.
Jackson County covers all the trails
come here
in Jackson County. Yes, or if you come by, you're like going like, how do I get to the trails? Then you go to the bookstore.
Yeah.
And you buy the book at lots of places.
Yeah.
It's at Bloomsbury. It's at the Northwestern Nature Shop.
Uh-huh.
It's at Insight Ashland, which is really like Paddington, next door to Paddington.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why they call it Insight.
And then if you want to do something else besides come here and do OSF or something, there you go.
There you go. And this is trails, but the website ashlandtrails.com, I've got a bunch of just activities on there which aren't trails. Like, what's very popular is I've got a video of how to get up to the rock quarry. You know where the rock quarry is? Off Copco Road, I think, or something. It's up there past Hyatt Lake, Howard Prairie. That's Howard Prairie, and there's rock quarry. And it's very popular because people want to go there. Because I went there just to jump in the rock quarry. Like you run and you live, because we land in the water. Because it's a lot of water. That's a rock quarry with water in the bottom. But people, nudists like to use the bottom part. They love hanging out, being nude and swimming around there, which is great. Fun, man, I don't care. I mean, I don't do it, but you can do it and watch. Most of them, you're like, you don't have to be nude, do you? Because they walk around with shoes, and you're like, ooh, that's a crazy look. But there's camping up at the top, and I'm like, oh, that's wild, weird camping. Apparently, a very popular male hookup site. I know, and I didn't realize that until I put it up. I didn't, and then all of a sudden the comments in my video were like, hey, I'm coming up on the 28th, anyone want to meet me? And there was all like this gay hookup stuff back and forth, which is fine, except it got a little graphic at certain points. I'm like going, guys, easy. I mean, I would like, let's say some high school kid wants to figure out how to come up here and jump. You can't just be reading that. I had to shut him off. It was just wild. Well, God spoke to me. He said, Jim, write this book. And it turns out God is just a voice in my head. So a voice in my head said, Jim, write this book. And my voice in my head tells me I'm a jerk sometimes and stuff. God's not my God, my head God. Sometimes we disagree on stuff. But anyway, so the voice in my head said, write a book. And I said, oh, that's going to be hard. And so what really I was going to do was I took my website, which is about trails, and you click on it, and you've got maps, and it's got videos, it's a visual medium, and then I realized, what I liked, how I did my research was I went to the bookstores and I bought books, and I liked having a book in my car looking for trails. Sometimes you just like touching the book and sweeping through it and reading things down and going slow, and I was like, I like all the books I bought to research for my website. Then I go, I should have a book version, because if you ever talk to an old person and say, hey, you want to go to my website, and then what you do is you click on the QR code, and they just go, and I go, old people need books. I'm gonna basically take all the information on my website and put it into the book, which I thought you just cut and paste. Oh no, there's a lot more to it. You gotta format and stuff, and then you gotta add different map styles that you can visually on a screen don't translate, but I mess them around, but I still love my my videos. So what I did is I put QR codes in the pages, and so for the people under 60 who know how to use a QR code could scan it, and then they could watch the video on their phone. Come on, each trail. So anyway, I said hybrid. Did I invent the trail video QR code hiking book? I declare I did. Man, I've invented two things. How exciting! What is my process for writing? Copy and paste. It's great. I copy the stuff from my website, I paste it into the book. And then, of course, you got to reformat it. And then you got to read it again and again. And the more you read it, the more you hate it. So then you, at first you put all your stuff in. And then, of course, you edit it out. And then you try to say something snarky somewhere in there. It's kind of, you want to be a little bullshitty. That's my goal. Just a tiny bit of, like, bullshitty stuff. And then make sure the information's, like, helpful. And then you show it to your friends and say, hey, can you look at it for me? And we, of course, help me with my first book. But then most of the time, people just go, I loved it. It was so good. You're like, you didn't read it. God, I needed some help. I want a jerk to do your proofreading. That's the key. Get somebody who's kind of a jerk, or not a kind of a huge a-hole to go over your book. And then they're going to go, didn't like this, dumb font, stupid picture, blah, blah, blah. And then that's helpful, because then you can go, well, I don't believe 90% of what they said, but that's a good point, and that was a good point. And that's super helpful, right? So find the biggest a-hole and say, please read my book. And they'll be like, yeah, I'll tell you your book. Want me to tell you how it sucks? I'm like, yeah, please. So the publishing, I thought, I've got a secret tip for everybody, if you don't know it. So I did this all myself. I didn't have anybody, didn't hire anybody. I did all the graphics and stuff. I do all this in Photoshop. Everything I did myself. I wrote everything. Blah, 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 blah. But, I didn't want to spend any money on publisher or, something like that. So I went to Amazon, KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, right? So KDP, you download a format for a book. So you pick the size you want, and you pick the format, and you download that PDF. And then you just take your entire book that you've written in Word or whatever it is, and you just transfer it into this PDF. And copy, paste, and then voila! You'll find that they've got borders that you have to fit into on this little template they give you. And you squeeze everything in there, and you push stuff over, and you drag stuff around. And then you just upload it to Kindle again and say, what do you think of my book? And they go, we are checking your book to see if it fits all our things. And then they send an email later going, your book doesn't fit here. This page sucks. These formats are wrong. Da, da, da. So they go, oh, free publisher, free editor. I mean, they don't read the words, but they're like, okay, so I push it around a little bit, move some pictures, send it to them again. They're like, this was no good. I hated your cover. It didn't fit. It's all about sizing and fit. And then they keep going back and forth until they go, we'll print this up. Let's send you a copy you can look at. And so then you order a copy of a book. I ordered the copy of this just before it was published. It cost me like $4. And so they send you a book for $4, all done. By the way, you've paid nobody any money at this point. And they send you a book. And then once you get it in your hands, you go, and you go like, that didn't look great. Or you're like, oof, that moved somewhere. You go back, move your stuff around, send it back to KDP. And they go, we like it, it's fine. And then they say, I'd like to buy another $4 book, please. And then you get another one. And then you look at the cover and you go like, oh, it's crooked, or this is too blue, or something. You just go back and forth on your own time. I don't know if you're in a rush to publish your book, but if you're not, man, it's a cool, cheap way to do it. And then once you're done, you can order a bunch of books at a lower rate, like this one costs $19.95 at the store, right? But I pay $11 for each one because I'm the author. If I went online, I'd have to pay $19.95 through Amazon. But since I'm an author, I buy author copies for $11.87 or whatever it is, and then I can sell them so then my profit is in the between there, and that's pretty cool. Isn't that cool? I think that's very cool. So I tried to not do Amazon because he's evil. Jeff Bezos is a monster, or whatever you want to say. But because I tried the other publishing companies. I went to Lulu and some other one, and they were more expensive, and the quality of their paper wasn't as good, and they didn't let you update as often. So it was just a no-brainer. And think of it: if we give him enough money, this Jeff Bezos, he'll go live on Mars. And boom, he's gone. I know when my parents left town for a day, we threw a hell of a party. You think about Bezos in space, he's going to be gone for a long time. Big party at Bezos' house till he comes back. So I'm not going to lie, blends together quite a bit. Dirt trail, tree on the left, hill down on the right, then water, and then mountain. Yeah, they're all kind of the same. I was never attacked by an animal, which I've just like every time I go, I'm like, please attack me, an animal, so I can, survive and tell the story. Nothing. I've never gotten like horribly lost and had to sleep, in an ice cave or anything like that. The closest thing I did to like being lost for a few hours was, Winburn Way is a street in Ashland, goes up, named after Jesse Winburn, came in 1920, millionaire, to save the city, and then he got tired of the city and he bailed. But he was rich, so he built a big house up at the top of the watershed, the Salt Lick or something, I don't know, Sap and Salt, and it's way up at the top of the watershed, and then it's gone right now. But the Winburn Way comes down from the back of the watershed, and it kind of stops above the reservoir. And I know that there's a trail that goes down to the east fork of the Ashland Creek, and I know that the Winburn Trail road comes to here, and then I looked on all the maps, and I'm like going like, that distance right there, I was like a mile, maybe. And so I would imagine if I were a deer, I'd be going up and down there all the time, so there's going to be a deer trail or something. Or maybe old man Jesse Winburn would take his horses down to the creek, and get some water and take his horses back up, so there's a trail. So I figured there'd be a trail. Now to get up there is, you get 7 miles to get to the top there and come back down. So I got up to there, and then I got to the end of the Winburn Trail, and I'm like, I'll just go downhill, and I'll be able to find it. And foresters had been there. There's flags on all sorts of stuff. It's all over the place. And I got lost. I got lost there, and then I ended up like way up the creek, and it's so brushy that I couldn't walk along the creek, because the creek, it's brushy, you're right next to the creek. But I knew, follow Ashland, the creek down to the reservoir. Got to. So then I decided, screw it. So I took my socks off, and I just like went boot, no socks in the creek. And I went down the creek for, that was about an hour and a half of creek walking, and that's unpleasant. And then I finally hit the reservoir, and I came back up, and so it might have been like an 18-mile day, which was supposed to be a 6-mile day.
So tell us where the book can be purchased.
Yes.
Online and all those places.
You know what's crazy? I just got a note from the Amazon last week saying your link to your book is no good.
Oh no!
And I'm like, well, what happened? Well, because I had another book before this. It was called AshTrails.com, the book, and this one's called AshTrails.com, the book. And since they were both up there, the algorithm decided you only get one name, and it's not this one, it's the old one. And so I told the algorithm, stick it up your algorithm. You are going to. So I deleted my old book, and I left this one up, and now I'm waiting for the algorithm to recover from the butt sticking thing I told him to do, and then put this book back up. So right now, not on Amazon. I think maybe it's today, maybe it's up again. But at the local stores here in Southern Oregon, Bloomsbury, Insight Ashland, which is really like next door to Paddington.
I didn't even know it was there, but
Insight. It's a bad name for a store.
We'll make sure all the
it's a fine
things are
store,
in the
right? And then Northwest Nature Shop. Nice. I've got them at Getting Gear.
Nice.
I like Getting Gear. That place is awesome. And
it's
then
like the consignment shop for sporting goods.
I love it. And then it's at REI in Medford.
Oh, nice!
Yeah, right. That's a real deal. And it's at Barnes and Noble in Medford. Ooh. Kind of. I have to go back in there and ask them, hey, what happened to that book? They're, can you bring us 4 more? I'm like, so then I bring them 4 more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what else? Any final thoughts and any other projects you have going on that you would like to promote?
Oh, I'm going to promote something that has to do with me, of course. Well, duh. Well, look, I'm running out of trails, right? I've done almost every single one in Jackson. Actually, I did one yesterday that's a brand new trail that was built. That was fixed this year, 2020. The Union Creek Trail, that's coming. But really, I'm running out of the local trails. I got to drive like 2 hours to get to a trail now. So I'm doing fewer trails, so there's not going to be another book. And now I kind of dip into local politics. I love the local politics. Who am I kidding? I do a 5-minute meeting. That's a third thing I've invented in the show. I invented the 5-minute meeting, which is I watch every city council meeting and I do a 5-minute video version. Which
Will you
really
talk about all the things that are happening? Yeah.
That's right. 12. I hold a candle up there to the a light up to the darkness of the city shenanigans, right?
Underbelly, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all in good fun, and it's super informative at the same time. That's probably the best thing I invented of the three things. So I do that every 2 weeks. That's a YouTube thing, and
is it also, you can watch it locally, right? Over on.
You shoot a live at the Black Sheep. If you want to come and throw a vegetable at me, I would enjoy that.
Nice.
Maybe you're soft for
Tomato?
vegetables. Yeah, I like the rotten fruit because it's softer.
Rotten tomatoes.
Yeah, like an unripened avocado. Ouch, that's gonna hurt. So
Tomato. A rotten tomato.
rotten tomato's great.
A little bit like Fozzie the Bear.
Really, Fozzie the Bear?
Fozzie the Bear always got tomatoes thrown at him. Yeah, his comedy, Pork Fozzie.
I would be honored to be the Fozzie Bear of Ashland.